Okay, welcome guys to the next Blender tutorial. So it is May the 4th and may it be with you. So we're going to be making a lightsaber today in the theme of Star Wars, essentially. So let's go ahead and delete this default cube. And what we're going to do, we're going to add a cylinder. So let's start off with the cylinder right here. I'm going to put the materials on as I build, so I'm just going to go ahead and rotate the cylinder by 90, and then I'm just going to elongate it, and then we can add things to this as we're going along. So top of our cylinder is going to be here, bottom is going to be here. Hopefully we can remember that one. So I'm going to go with material, I'm going to add new, and this will be the red backdrop. Yep. Okay, so on the shading tab right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a ruby red. So let's go to, I'm going to go Veroni with this one. Veroni texture, color to base color. And I'm going to get some of that little grittiness in there, almost like a metal kind of rough cut. So we're going to go with color ramp. And then I'm going to add the red into here. Make it like a nice bright ruby red. I'm just going to bring this forward just a little bit. So now we've got this nice little shade of red right here. We can turn the metallic up as well. And then I'm going to add a bump texture. Just right here. Color to height. So now we've kind of got this nice little kind of almost kind of burnt kind of colour with little cracks all over it. I'm just going to scale this up just a little bit so you guys can see that. So now we've got that. I'm just going to put the red on this side and then the white on this side just to pull some of that texture out really. And then from here we're going to go back to layout, and I'm going to go with, let's go with a cylinder. Rotate this by 90. And then rotate it again by the top by 90. I'm just going to scale this outwards, scale it inwards. Resize wise, I mean you can add some more vertices to this if you want to, but I'm just going to shade this smooth. And then I'm going to add this ring to the top right here. If you haven't already, change your render engine to cycles. So this one right here, I'm going to have this as gold, so let's go new. We can actually copy the texture that we have here just to keep with themes if you wanted to. I'm just going to go ahead and just make it as false gold. Just for the time being, because I want to see what it looks like. False is, yeah. Ignore my little spelling error there. I'll just call it, yeah, okay. So, we've got the metallic coming in. Take this roughness down. Let's go with Shift D. Just gonna go 1, Shift D, and then we'll go 1. Just along these axes right here. Let's go with this one, Shift D, and I'm gonna go 0.5. It might be different on yours, so this one right here, Shift D, and then we'll go 0.5. Yeah, Shift D, 0.5 right there. And then the next bit that I'm going to do, this will be the top. I think I might actually move these down just slightly, just there. Okay, so the next bit that we need to do is another cylinder. I want to rotate that one by 90. Just put this up a little bit, shade smooth, G, bring it over. And then we're just going to go and make this one a little bit larger. So we've got that cross guard. And then I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate this again so that we've got the hand rest that goes in the middle. So just bring that over. So I like my reds, my blues and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is make this kind of like a weird crosshatch almost. So I'm going to have this one right here. Then I'm going to go and put this as a material. So we're going to go the blue part. It's going to be blue. We'll make this slightly metallic. Take down that roughness just a little bit. And then I'm going to go with a nice royal blue, I think. So this is what it should look like just as is. Trust the process. And then we're going to take this and we're going to go Shift D. Scale it up just slightly. And then scale it just down ever so slightly as well. And what I'm going to do with this one is, let's go to edit mode. We'll go plus. We will assign a new one. So we're going to go new, assign. This will be mesh. And this one will be a black. Or we could make this gold actually. We could get away with gold, I guess. Let's minus this one off. So if we go plus again, we could go with this false gold for the moment. And then what we could do is Control R, rotate this around a little bit. So it's like this. And then we will go to modifiers and to wireframe. So should look like that. Yeah, okay. So now we've got this nice little gold touch over the top. I'm just going to shade this smooth. Let's see. Let's take off that relative. Offset's pretty good. Just going to make that a bit thicker. Okay, so when we render it, it should look like this. I don't quite like the colour match on that, I'll be honest with you. I think maybe change that colour a little bit better. There's something a little bit better than that. Or maybe just edit this metallic so it's less rough. I'm going to go ahead and place a plane underneath this. Okay, I got that going on. Okay, so the next thing that I want to make is the top. So I'm gonna take these little rings that we've got here. I'm just gonna move them down, and then this part is going to be the top. So this, let's see. Let's not go in sculpt mode. Let's go in edit mode. We'll take this face right at the end. Press G. Just bring that down. Because I'm going to take one of these gold pieces right here. I'm just going to elongate it. So with this in particular, we could go edit mode. And we could start messing around with this and manipulating it a little bit. So this right here, we could go rotate it straight down. Scale this out just a little bit. Let's see, that rotation is just a little bit too sharp for my liking. Scale it that way. Ever so slightly. So what I want to do is just pick up these little bits right here. So let's see. Let's get the faces. Scale this out just slightly just to even that one out. There we go. Right, so now I can go with E-fret extrude, scale it inwards just slightly, and then I could go E-fret extrude, leave it where it is, G, and bring it down into the center of that blade right there, and then just kind of scale it in just a little bit. So we've got this nice little bevel around the edge. And I could also actually grab this and place this at the opposite end, but to be honest with you, if I was going to make a double-ended blade, I'd probably just copy all of this and just paste it on the other side with a little gold trim in the middle, because we got to keep it gold. for this. And we could probably do a crosshatch as well, just up in the middle right here. I don't like how big this is on the side. I'm just going to take this inwards just a little bit. Okay, so we need like a little emitter kind of thing here. So we're going to go with, let's go with cylinder. We will rotate this by 90. Bring it up with G. Make sure that it doesn't clip at the top and the bottom. So press G, bring that up so that it's nice and flush. And then I'm going to do a black on this one. So this one's going to be black. Kind of like a dark grey, black. Edit mode. Take this face that's at the front. We're just going to go E for extrude. Scale it inwards just slightly. G, bring it back. And then E for extrude. Scale it inwards just slightly. And then we'll do E for extrude. And then we will do E for extrude again. Just give it that little bevel. E for extrude, keep it where it is, scale in. And then we'll go E for extrude, just to bring it inwards. And that will be the emitter. I don't like the way that this looks at the end. Let's see if I got notes. So we could actually do a silver, kind of like let's change this blue to silver actually. Let's see what silver looks like. Silver, high metallic, just like that. The lighting's not great. Or we could do like a silver back as well, I guess. So maybe take this one, make this silver. Go Shift D. Just scale it up right there at the back. Pull it down. Maybe we could take this as well. Just make some little guards at the end, some extra grip. Just about there. Let's go change this to a sun. And maybe we change this to 50. Or maybe 10. And then I'm just going to have the red kind of poke out at the bottom there. And then what I'm going to do with this red, so let's go to edit mode, select the end, E for extrude, and then I'm just going to like rotate it. Because if this is a lightsaber that can join together with another lightsaber, then in theory, you should have a rotated end, but you can join the two together. Just as such. And then of course you want the little belt clip and the button. So we could do cube, G, scale it across, bring it down, and then just kind of scale it in where it'll fit, where it sits it'll fit, kind of thing. And then take this and we could do like a gold kind of button for that. Maybe we'll have a secondary one. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of that one. Scale this down. So a little button right there, and then we could do a little button just right there. Yeah. And then we're going to need the emitter as well. So, for the emitter, very simple. We're going to go ahead and get a cylinder, rotate this round to 90 degrees, scale this out, press G, make sure that it lines up with your emitter right here. Just like that. Okay, so at the end right here, what you're going to want to do is just round it off a little bit. So press G, bring it out, and then E, and then scale, and then E, scale, just like that. And then for this one, I mean, like, it depends really what kind of lightsaber you're going for, because you know, depending on the colour, I think it's yellow for Temple Guard, blue and green is traditional, and then of course Samuel L. Jackson has the purple one, and he's the only one that has the purple one. Ahsoka Tano has the white lightsabers. So, well, at least in the later one, she has the white lightsaber, which is apparently a representation of a grey Jedi. If I'm not mistaken, you know, someone's probably going to correct me in the comments. But let's put this blade in. So Principal BSDF, you want a mission, and depending on what colour you're going for, let's go with Temple Guard. Is dependent on what your lightsaber is going to look like. Now, obviously, we've got the light coming in here. So if I just real quick just change this to 0, we now have our lightsaber. I think this is a bit too short for a lightsaber, to be honest with you. It's almost like a Yoda type size. We can just elongate that just a little bit. So this is just purely fan art. Just a bit of fun. It's 4th of May, why not? So as I say, you can change like the colour of the blade and stuff. You can have like a purple, like a blue if you wanted to. Blue actually does kind of suit this one. I could have a green. So, what I'm going to do, just turn this light back on just by slight. Oh, it should have been by slight. And then we can take this entire design and we can actually duplicate it out as a secondary lightsaber. So, I've got this one. And if I just unselect the sun, and then Shift D, and then we can do rotate. Let's go 180. And maybe that little join in the middle right there, we just want to rotate this 180 as well. So these should just match up just nicely, as long as you've got the angle correct. So there you go, double bladed lightsaber. Yeah, it's just basically some fan art, a little bit of fun. Yeah, so there you go. Let's just reduce that just a little bit. And what I'm going to do, maybe the shading tab, let's add, for this background, a noise texture, colour to base colour, just give it a bit of grain, add a bump Let's go color to height. And then we'll go for color ramp. Right there. So now we've kind of got this very nice little silhouette thing going on. I'm just going to improve this grain a little bit and add a little bit of distortion. And then maybe just take up the metallic just a little bit. Like a lot. Pull down the roughness. So we've got this nice little display piece. I'm going to take the roughness up a little bit just to give it that glow. And then make this a little bit darker. And then we can add a plane. And the plane's going to be an emission. So let's make this plane just... I'm just going to build it in here. Let's go rotate. And then we'll make this an emission. Just have one here, and then we will duplicate this and have one here. So now we have this nice little setup for a lightsaber. It's a little bit of fun, a little bit of fan art. Yeah. So I will see you in the next one. Bye.